I've been watching the demos back over a number of hours in my hotel room, and it's been really interesting. Phelps' POV has been pretty awesome as well, and he's definitely still part of the SK culture and attitude in their approach of the game, which is great to see, especially on the CT side. For those of you in GoTV, I would recommend Fallen when he's warping around the toilets position. Always nice to see, and if he's supported by a rifler, just switching back and forth and seeing how they're covering for each other is quite stimulating to watch. I would also suggest Adren, or Adrian, however you want to pronounce his name, on the CT side as well. And perhaps Hobbit, see what he can get up to on the T side for Gambit.
So looks like they'll be moving towards bathrooms at the moment, Gambit, as they may be surprised to be potentially flanked here by Fer. We know Fer is always good for the shenanigans, and I feel like it's already starting, because look at this play from him. He's potentially able to set up a very good flank from this position, but here comes a very fast push. The flank won't be good for much unless SK can hold on to the site for a few moments longer. Nice kill from Phelps, falls back afterwards into the bank position, daring Gambit to try to push in. But they will not, so they will hold with the bomb, and Fer will come in from the back. Adren will be unsuspecting.
Yeah, and Taco's still looking to flank when Hobbit's looking for that, but Hobbit's got to go back to the side because his teammate's going to drop surely. Fer gets taken down, Taco takes the flanker out, and there it is, Hobbit now versus 3. He has a lot to do here. He does not have the pistol for it. Not sure if the defuse is being held at the moment. Seeing lots of bodies on the sides, and indeed, the defuse is in for SK Gaming, so that is the first round in the bag. Phelps moving up long, standing by the tree. Could have flanked the toilets position, but had Taco to do that anyway. But Taco just waits in the toilets, doesn't do anything. Fer walks back up long, completely undetected. Gambit may have had a look there, seen no one, and they had Hobbit in waiting for the toilets, waiting for a push from Connector, so they would feel like they know no one is long, but then Fer re-emerges like a baddie in a 90s action movie. And away we go. Again, that's another example of the SK CT approach.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see how dynamic this lineup is, you know, with Phelps playing, and he's been so aggressive. I think it's caught some teams off guard. I think Mouse Sports were big victims against Phelps' aggression. That was Mirage though in. Fer with SMGs is very, very scary indeed. It'll be pretty clean so far from SK Gaming. Now, Gambit, it's going to be tough for them to find edges against the likes of SK, because if they've got this good economy rolling in, we can expect them to have a very good understanding of the flow of the map insofar as, you know, what aggressions that they should be using. Because on the CT side of Overpass, you want to always be, not always, but you want to be playing aggressively, like fairly often. And that is very effective, especially when the T side has a full buy, because then they have a suspicion that you're around every single corner, and you get to fall back, and then they have to expend all the utility to clear everything. And it's just, there's so many positions on this map to worry about. Bit of an awkward engagement. Bit of an awkward engagement, and the beer bottles will be smashed, and Doji will die. Clean round for SK.
Indeed it is. 2-0. 2 kills and a pistol round for Gambit. Other than that, there is nothing doing. AKs are out because of the plant. However, their grenades are very limited. 3 flashbangs are all that Gambit have to offer. So when they choose to execute, it better be a good one. We saw some struggles from Gambit on their T side of Inferno earlier on in this tournament. This will be an interesting test on Overpass. Another meaty grenade. Dozier wondering where his legs have gone. He has taken massive damage. Once again, Fer will be keeping an eye on things towards the long position. He'll get sound cues at least, if he's close enough. Yeah, he can hear this information. Will there be a pop flash for Gambit to peek? No, they're just going to peek it with no pop flash. Why? There's so many of them, and that'll cost them a life for free.
I think they just wanted to hold on to the utility. They didn't have very much. Now, I mean, that's essentially, you know, what can cost you. You cut those corners, you're going to pay for it sometimes. Fer does get the information as well as a frag, and some additional damage as well. And not only that, we can now see the Gambit in all of this madness have lost almost all their utility. 2 flashbangs is all that remains. And this is a very horrible spot to be in. SK should realize this, in seeing that there's all AKs out for Gambit, that they have no utility. And that means that they can just hold positions on the sites.
In terms of positions, have we noted Taco's position right now? Taco is in absolute no man's land. And Will these players check this position? They might. But Phelps may run distraction. Phelps has just smoked off short B in the meantime, and he's taken massive control for SK, and that is even more monstrous. Taco with the 2K taking the bomb. He's got his teammate to rotate with him now. Fallen delivering a scout kill on Lung, and that leaves Dozier alone, wondering what on earth has happened. Have we made the right decision? Bearing in mind, after the pistol, there's been 1 kill for Gambit, and they had 5 AKs in this round versus an MP9, a scout, a UMP, so on and so forth.
It's one of those spots where you sort of wonder if Gambit, of course, first spots them running up A long, and of course, SK have a lot of utility. But you do wonder if maybe Gambit sort of overplayed it a little bit and just chilled out for too long and just didn't abuse the numbers advantage, well enough inside some of the positions, the forward positions around A or B even, as they sort of just spread out, and SK got more information. Taco had a lot of space to just get a play forwards, and then once he had that play forwards, SK knew exactly the perfect CT setup, and then once they're in that position, it's very hard to win the round back. So 3-0, falling on the AWP. If he's hitting shots like that scout headshot, things might be a bit troublesome here for Gambit.
Seems it's Mo's turn to take the early damage up the stairs. And even more grenades. Gambit are eating grenades like they are apples. Fur in his usual position in these the rounds we've seen so far, near the toilets, looking for some info. And this time Gambit are taking it slow. Dozier, the only man with the AK, the only man with Kevlar in this round to try and open things up around the fountain position. Fur, of course, why take a normal position? You gotta love Fur. He is my personal hero, honestly. Absolutely ridiculous play from him. Got some info, also got a rifle, but again, only one person has Kevlar for the T side in this round, so they don't look likely to necessarily get much done. Moving towards B now. Taco, very aggressive through Monster, picking off some players, but could be taken by surprise.
Taco did well to survive with 2 HP. Gambit have chosen a good entry point here. SK somewhat convinced about A, but also A is the harder side to hold, so if you want to retake a side, you pick B to play retake on. And Taco will get the info. Very nice position. Can just hold. They don't really have any grenades to take down Taco, so he's going to be safe in that spot. Can wait for his teammates to come in, and they will have a nice double-pronged attack. Here is Phelps now approaches from short, as Fallen rains down death with that AWP from the heaven position. Gambit have done well to get a bomb plant here. Can they get some extra damage? It's looking kind of menacing, these 4 SK players on the approach. Cold with another one, and they'll slowly be whittled away, player by player.
There goes Fitch as well. So you see SK, they're comfortable to give the bomb plant away, securing their own economy. Again, just 1 kill in this round. Taco 2 HP, takes a very passive angle, keeps an eye on the water area, takes an initial engagement, backs off, keeps the numbers good, and keeps reasonable map control for his teammates. We're comfortable to have the T's take the site. They will choose the more favorable engagements when they're overall in better positions. So that's something that was telling when I looked at their demos on Mirage on A as well. 4-0 for SK. Now Gambit have everything they want. Mo on the AWP will be very important. Will there be more grenades towards A though? Are they going to continue to eat them? It seems that if they will be deployed, they'll continue running, but it's the AWP now, even more dangerous. The smoke grenade dropping past Fallen in the toilets, stopping the common angles for a fast AWP to hold. And again, Fur continues his aggression on long.
Mo was on the angle, but that will go too far, that flashbang. Fur unaffected, looking to get more kills here. Gets another one. Always good for one, at the very least. On the CT side, you don't typically want to play for a 1-1 trade, but it's Fur. Fur can do whatever the hell he wants. He has a very strong team to back him up, and he always gets a lot of information. And this information can help Fallen to understand how he should position himself. That's a nice connection. Dozier down to 16 as they may press now into Phelps' position. And all the meanwhile, we'll have Cold Zero rotating from B to A to support this defense as the pressure is really felt. The bomb is towards T-spawn at the moment, but again, we have Taco in a very forward position there. So they don't have to worry about B at all. They have all the information again. They
don't have vision of short B for the time being although maybe Phelps would get a sound cue. So there is a gap in the defenses. It has to be a confidence play from SK here. And the bomb's moving away from the B bomb site. Phelps will hear the footsteps. Mo and Fitch are both running around. That's 2 out of 3 players. But still, yeah, now Taco starting to rotate. 25-second mark. Phelps playing it slow. There's the bomb. Shot missed by the AWP, and he's buying lots of time for his team now. Taco starting to speed up on the flank here. This is really awkward for the AWP, but Mo manages to deliver the kill. 15 seconds, and they've got to clear the site. Dozier just standing on long. He's in the ready. 16 HP. The flashbang is there, but so is Cold Zera to shut things down. 5-0 for SK. No answer for Gambit yet.
I just want to point out how incredibly well SK are playing these situations. This is going to be a great demo for people to study about CT Overpass, because the way that SK understand, when they can have push timings on Taco, and then obviously how that affects their rotation. And just looking at that situation where you've got Phelps holding, knowing that he doesn't have to move a muscle for so long. And a lot of players and teams would have made the mistake to go for a peek for information, but they already knew that they had enough information to just hold. And they have so much confidence in these positions. Really well played. Now Gambit going for a faster play in desperation with these pistols.
And you see Phelps has made his way into the B bomb site, so there's 3 men here. They're expecting this play, SK, and they're shutting it down very quickly indeed. The extra man working wonders. Phelps there with 2K on the site, looking for the 3rd one, and Cold Zera will pick him off. So SK are all over Overpass at the moment. They are multiple steps in front of their opponent. I was going to mention, Phelps, often in the past we've seen on Overpass, it's been Fallen and Fur. It's been Fallen, Orping, Fur's been the rifle support, but they're allowing him to continue his aggression, which was a clash with Phelps in the past, as they've mentioned. And Phelps is now Fallen and Phelps, but Fallen was on his own, going towards the toilet position. Phelps making his way towards B instead. Maybe we'll see a return to normalcy in this round. It's Fallen and Fur actually towards A, and Phelps will continue towards B. Will it be a good read again?
They'll have to start punishing some of these plays out of Taco, maybe even try to bait them out, because it's been very devastating. SK, they get so much value when they get information. They know how to play with it so well. And they'll have, once again, forward positions there towards the fountain. It's actually Fur who's around there, just always trying to keep tabs on what's going on. It's Fallen out.
Oh,
repositioning. That's a beautiful snap there. Fitch is no more. Perhaps he never was. A distant memory now, thanks to Fallen.
And you see the setup from Fallen and Fur. Fur was around the smoke on the high ground, taken down by Mo as he starts to get aggressive in a different position. This is an entirely different setup from SK in this round, and this is going to waste time for Gambit. They need to identify where these players are. Fallen, last seen in the connector area, now on a trot on his own towards a long position. How can Mo get there? Taking a shot. Oh, Fallen, he's getting really cheeky now. I'm sure he's going to go for the kill. And there it is, the no-scope, shutting him down again. 4 versus 2. Gambit have no idea what's going on. The bomb is miles away as well. They've got 40 seconds left. Someone's got to run back for it and give up map control. And in the meantime, it's probably a Dren who's got to make something happen here.
SK look like they are in insane form at the moment.
What are they doing?
For Phelps. They're falling apart, James.
Well, I can only guess they were trying to win by elimination, because Hobbit was making a play into Monster on his own, and Adren is trying to throw grenades into the A site. So I think they probably said, okay, the bomb's too far away. We can't go for a plant. We have to just pull the players out and try to win by elimination, since they don't know where the bomb is. But SK changing everything up, and again, it's taking so long for Gambit to identify what's going on, and while they're losing players.
Yeah, this is really cool from SK, because it is that style which really crushes teams who are very heavy into defaults. And so Gambit essentially need to take some gambles to try to shake things up against SK. I think that's probably one of the best approaches they can go with now.
To show you how bad things are going for Gambit, we have a double 007. Get the tuxedos out. Adren and Fitch are 007. If you're 7 rounds in and Adren hasn't got a kill, you're definitely having a bad time. Hobbit on 1 kill, so never mind the GoTV picks for Gambit. This is all SK at the moment.
This is a masterclass of CT side Overpass so far, which is so beautiful to watch. It's one of the most complex maps, maybe the most complex map from a CT perspective. So we'll see now if Gambit can really change up the pace at all. They obviously have just pistols here, so it's just a rush from them. And it's something that SK obviously are going to be expecting. They'll lose Fur in a forward position, but it's really not anything to worry about. Still 2 AKs and 2 AWPs here to respond. Easy does it for Phelps. 1 more to go. There it is. And that's the round done and dusted. 8-0 for SK. As Gambit perhaps need to start straying away from some of these defaults and try to mix things up a bit. Because SK, they're just a step ahead. Every time Gambit tried to look for information, SK just outplayed them.
Gambit needs to get the flashbangs going everywhere. Try to force SK away from information. But how do you stop Fer? The thing is, even if Fer goes 1-for-1, he's playing such aggressively deep positions that it's really slowing Gambit from advancing. Whether Fer dies immediately or not, it's a massive problem. And again, it changes. Fer now around the connector position and fallen towards long. So again, it's very dangerous for Gambit to identify what the CTs are trying to achieve. It's costing them people to get that information.
And it's one of the reasons why, you know, Fer can play for, you know, just trades basically in very forward positions, because SK, it gives them so much information to work off of. They know how to like move around the map. Usually we would see Taco respond by pushing because he has enough information to understand he can do it safely. And then that's SK. They take every single edge. And right now they are giving a bit more space to Gambit. And that's smart. I mean, they've conditioned Gambit now to be fearful of everything. So Gambit are just going to be using utility anyway. So now they don't have to risk anything. But, oh, that angle from Fallen, and the timing is good, and it trends on the scoreboard. There we go. Now we got some stuff happening. Gambit catching SK. Good stuff from them. Now press onto the A site.
Took them the minute mark to get anywhere close to the toilets, but Fallen missing the shot may prove fatal for SK in this round. Taco's still on the B bomb site. Only 2 CTs to defend this site. And down they go, leaving Taco alone.
Not much he can do here. He does have an AK-47 though, so it's always nice to keep hold of that. But at the same time, their economy is amazing, and Gambit's is not. So getting some kills on Gambit will be very, very problematic for Gambit. So that's the play here from Taco. Get as many kills as possible. So let's see if he can get something here. Emerging from bank, unbeknownst to Gambit. Taco wants to try to make it safe though.
He's got a smoke. And they've all backed off. Do it, Taco. Do it. You dirty animal. Oh, has he left it too late? I think he might have. I don't think he's got time. Dozier! Oh, I wondered. I respect the attempt. It is kind of rude as well, which is fantastic for SK. I love it. Could have been so much, but it wasn't. Probably the best round-winning play he could make in that situation. Doesn't take any more money away, but he was playing for the W. Dozier just about finding it there as the spread of bullets goes wider and wider. SK have a lot of money to play with, and they will continue with the double sniper rifles. Fallen and Cold Zero back to their usual tricks. Fallen and Fer will be the combo towards the A site, but Fallen's going very deep on his own.
This is such a scary position for Gambit because SK, they have so many rounds, so much money, they can take all kinds of risks. Fallen, can he do something against this? Oh, he gets a frag there somehow. That's really impressive. And now it's down to Fer to hold on to things around the bathrooms, but that'll be okay. Gambit will not have much presence there. And after the explosive start, things will start to calm down.
The fact he gets 1 kill there is amazing. Considering the angle and trying to avoid the flashbangs, Dozier's got to be careful. Phelps has been boosted. Don't see this boost so often. It was very common in the initial months as Overpass, as the map was being figured out, but not so much. And you see Fitch getting caught off guard there. Definitely wasn't expecting that. Once again, the bomb is at the very back of connector. So we are sub 1 minute, and Gambit may have to send somebody to go and collect it. Looks like it might be Mo running back from the long position. In the meantime, Hobbit once again creeping into Monster, and Cold Zero waiting very patiently indeed. That's 2 missed flashbangs for Cold, so he doesn't really know what's going on there. Messed them both up. Rare miss from him. Taco on a short B position. Got to be careful about his angles because the door is open. You won't hear somebody come out. There's Dozier taken down. Hobbit still alive. They know he's been tagged, so there can be some confidence. Mo around the Monster area, and Hobbit will join him. 19 seconds. Surely they're running to their doom.
Yeah, the positioning here is really, really good. They'll be able to crouch through the angle, but Cold will take down Mo, who doesn't have the sense to crouch. And that's going to be the round over. Hobbit trying to save the AWP here, and he should be able to get out of dodge in time. He will, but this is a fantastic reset round from SK. Onto Gambit. Ooh, there it is. So 9-1 for SK Gaming, looking very, very dominant. And this was a beautiful flick shot from Fallen. It's crazy he gets one there. Really crazy.
And there is the shot onto Mo. Very difficult situation for Gambit, who have gone for a timeout. And they could go for a force here. It would suck. Mo's got 4,400. Hobbit's carrying an AWP. The rest of them are at about 3,500 on average. So it would be bad. If they saved one round, they could have a much better buy, but then they'd likely not have the AWP. And they are going to force around it, it seems. AK is being dropped. So let's see what they can do. Galil out onto Fitch. At 9-1, how many rounds can they afford to lose? How can they really, is the eco an option for them? Perhaps it isn't. A well-equipped SK back in action.
One of the dangerous things too about SK's style, where they've been getting early pickoffs onto Gambit, is the fact that removes, a player from Gambit's default, from Gambit's sort of pre-planned opening to a round, and a lot of grenades as well. So just makes things awkward, and we'll see a very fast play into Sewers. This is a good change of pace from Gambit. Mo picks off Fallen there towards the monster tunnel, and that will give it a decisive advantage into that B bomb site. But they need to be cautious because SK, they have loads of players there, and there's already a push from Fur. Fur has already understood for his team that this is a dedicated B play, so the players on B can just take good positions, hold, and Fur can contain. Ooh, that's a big one though. Hobbit with the frag. Now SK get desperate. Fur needs to make a play, surely. They're looking for it as well.
Yeah, they respect their opponents so much. They live in fear of these Brazilians. Double AWP play at the beginning of that round towards the B bomb site for SK. Cold Zero was boosted up looking to the shot position, but he was flashed off by Gambit. Fallen went for a hyper-aggressive play through Monster with the scope all the way up the stairs, but got taken down by an expectant Moan. Here we are, 5 versus 3. But now Gambit still holding their position. Surely must realize that the CTs must have taken risks and must all be around the site. What is the play, Gambit? Adren and Mo moving towards the monster tunnel. Adosia alone on short, and Fitch waiting for a rotation through connector.
And they go. Can't live in fear against SK. And as Cold Zero with one, he can't get anything else. Dozier will silence him for the time being. And now for not really too much he can do, but maybe get some extra damage. And that will be the case, taking out Fitch. 2 orbs though now for Gambit as they pick up Colts. And they'll be able to take the round. So really nicely done by Gambit. And if we think about how they got that 5v3 advantage, it was the initial pick onto Fallen through the monster tunnel by Mo. And then the next one was just a smoke kill. Just very unfortunate for SK, very fortunate for Gambit. But what I'm trying to get at here is that it doesn't feel like a consistent approach from Gambit. So they've got to be very careful that they don't get reset again. They need to somehow string rounds together.
Yeah, and to some degree, SK are gifting them frags by being overly aggressive, just playing the mental advantage, essentially. If you saw the peak that Fallen went for, that's the peak of a team who are in a desperate situation. Here it is. That's not a common one, and it's not a necessary one, but SK feel like they've got the money and confidence to do so. And even if you fail in that situation, there's a psychological advantage in the rounds to come, because Gambit will be afraid of everything, of everywhere. They know SK have the money to buy once again.
And I think the kill on Taco as well was a good read from Hobbit. I think there can be players in that smoke where they're down a man, so they'll ask for a pop flash from someone on the site to go for a push there to get info. So really nice presence of mind there from Hobbit to be looking for plays like that. And SK, they'll actually be a bit more passive this time around. Got Fallen towards a long, and he'll nail Mo. That's one player down. Ooh, taking the single scope out very hard. Second shot attempted and will whiff, but the damage has been done here by Fallen. 5 versus 4 for SK.
It's a complete lack of respect as well, but I love it. It is great to see. Fitch hasn't got a kill in this game yet. He is 0 for 10 at the moment. Worth mentioning. I mean, for the time being, he seems to be playing a passive role and just hovering around connector. If Hobbit makes his way towards short B later on, perhaps he will try to stop a pinch through the door. So he's not really in the best position with which to engage. However, he should have more than 0 kills. 55 seconds on the clock. 4 versus 5 in favor of SK. Playing around smokes once again, and it is indeed the Fallen and Fur combo. Adren with a dropped AWP, missing a shot though. Well, SK identified that he was boosted in that position. That's 2 of the 4 players found. And Hobbit's often been playing around the monster tunnel, and he seems to be curious about it now.
They have enough nades for a set-piece execution, but they don't have the positioning yet for a set-piece. That is kind of the issue for Gambit at the moment. And SK have 5 players alive. They can start poking and prodding as well. coldzera in a great position. Easy kill for him. The second, though, is beautiful.
Teammates.
And now it's a very big problem for Gambit. They have to rely on the players out of Monster Tunnel. It's a good entry from Adren, but 10 seconds to plant the bomb. Do they have the time to do this? Hobbit has to push forwards, but he can't. Phelps will lay down a spray of bullets, a hail of fire. As now SK go 10 to Gambit's 2.
This is looking like child's play at the moment for SK.
They are playing so incredibly well. It's honestly so fun to watch a team play to this level.
That's such a long spray to get the kill on the second player. I'm amazed that he managed to keep control of it. Adren naded on the site. Then the carpet of flames onto Hobbit. He gets absolutely roasted. 2 to 10. And now we see Gambit with 2 AKs and 3 pistols. This is a force buy from the Gambit side. Flashbangs towards short B, as well as a smoke grenade, which they'll make their way through. So they have the close quarters around the B bomb site. Fallen now moving into connector. Cole, Phelps, Taco, and Fur focusing on the B bomb site. SK know what the intention is here for Gambit. Somehow they have all the information.
Yeah, indeed, they just work things out very quickly. Great reads from SK, always seem to be in the know. The question is, though, how far does Fallen go? We know that from what we can see on the minimap, he doesn't really have to go for a deep peek here, and he is just holding this off angle for the time being. Does go for the full check here. Fitch, oh, the timing for Fitch, so unfortunate.
What are Gambit waiting for at this point? Well, there is a smoke on short. So I guess they're just trying to exhaust the CT utility. 3 players now moving through the monster area. The counter flashes are there. They're totally stuck in the choke point. 40 seconds remain. 1 frag onto Taco, but all the CT players are here. There's no way this bomb's going down other than rattling along the floor. There goes Adren, leaving Dozier alone again. They just can't do anything at this point, Gambit.
It really feels like SK are just completely on another level at the moment as far as their CT side goes. They always seem to have more information, and they always have the good reads. It feels like they're always prepared for what Gambit are doing. And there's been so many spots where in the early rounds where they're just getting early picks, and if Gambit had any kind of a plan, they would have to then create this this sort of mid-round call. So they can never play ideally as they would like to. So SK are just really all over them at the moment. Again, masterclass.
They are the dog with the chewy toy, Dan. It's like when a tiger finds a baby deer, which has been left alone hiding in some long grass by its mother, and it's like, are you my daddy? And the tiger's like, yes, I am your daddy, let's play until I drain your blood and eat your lifeless body. And that's maybe coming soon for Gambit, making their way into short B, and the Tigers had quite enough of this nonsense, and down the deer goes. What is a baby deer called anyway? A foe or something?
A what?
Foe or something like that?
Sounds right.
Foe? Is it foe? Whatever. Last round of the first half. Gambit with 2 rounds on the board, trying to get their neck out of the clutches of the vice-like grip from SK.
Well, I think you're trying to say doe, which is a female deer.
Yeah.
Let's move onwards from this. I'm sure people on Twitter will correct you. Now, as you say, this does look very dominant, and SK are looking to make it even more so. 1 more round to get that 13-2 scoreline. What a scoreline it is. Now Mo going to be going very quick up short there. Cold is ready for it. Gets only the 1 though. Taco on the anchor position, looking to do the damage. The smoke will be very nice for him to play around. They're forced through it to take the battle against Taco, but he looks very strong for this one. Traded out, and Fallen misses a shot there. Pistol comes out, so going to be looking pretty good. Back into the AWP, another whiff from Fallen, and with it, a chance for Gambit. Dren looking to find the last player, and it's, if he presses tab, he's going to find that it's Fur. It's never a good prospect, because Fur can be anywhere. He can do anything. Adren very smart though. Just playing the time. There's plenty of it at the moment. And the bomb is on the short position. It's very hard to understand though exactly where Fur's going to play from and how Fer will take this decision, but Adren, despite getting a drop on him, Fer is too quick and is going to be taking the round for SK. 13-2. What an incredible half from SK. An absolute smashing and masterclass of Overpass.
What can you say about that one? Maybe Cobblestone was the better idea for Gambit. I think they currently live in regret. What on earth were we thinking? Whose idea was this?
It's crazy, isn't it? It really is. SK have built up such a reputation for this map. And just some of the confidence we saw from them and how natural it seems to them to just fit back into this map. And again, if we look at, Phelps, he had a big stint in SK and they were very, very successful on this map. So what can Gambit do on their CT side? Again, it does tend to be a CT-sided map.
I think right now, Dan, it's an SK-sided map.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, both these teams are 2-1 at present. And the winner will proceed to Boston. They'll hop on a chariot through the snow. Horse will drag their carriage. They will be wearing coats made from the skin of their opponents. Well then, all to play for Gambit, but it's SK to impose their will. One decoy in connector, and there are 4 CTs on the B bomb site. Adren is the information man towards A. Starting to back off, for rattling off some shots. Fallen full of grenades at the moment, as is Cold. And now Adren has gone all the way back towards A, so Gambit don't have very much information on the A site, considering there's a minute 10 on the clock.
A lot of time being burned indeed. Gambit holding their nerve, 3 on B. Definitely a good shout. They aren't moving a muscle at the moment. And this is a good call. Taco to lead. Looking for the first shot. Oh, there it is. Quick Molotov coming in. Nice here from SK. The timing's very good. The spacing's good. They get a quick kill, but there's still players in the bomb site to fight back. But there doesn't seem to be much fight in them here as they get absolutely annihilated by the offense of SK. Although Adren and Dozier will swoop in here to save the day, and they're doing a decent job of it. Just down to Adren now, but he can't make it work against Fallen and Cold. 14-2.
There it is. Gambit pushed towards a force bite. Pushed towards the end of the plank. And they may not be pushed off as much as drop kicked in the back by the likes of SK, the way this game is going. Dozier sinking into the ground, into the dirt, into the waste in the sewers. 14-2. Dozier and Adren towards long. Mo taking a forward position with one of 2 scouts on the CT side, but he may not be served up straight away. Hobbit and Fitch towards B. SK with 3 of the 5 players on high ground. Phelps keeping an eye on connector. Taco lurking outside the B bomb site. Fitch 1 for 15.
Adren might be first point of contact. He is behind the smoke there in the bathrooms. And Fer is going for it at the moment. Just keeps pressing on with that MAC-10. And he is, of course, meant to with the MAC-10. He's all about the information. Now Adren knows where he is. Should be an easy kill. There it is for Adren. And that's the MAC-10 collected. Be interesting to see if he plays with that over the Deagle, depending on the situation. And indeed, to remind you, SK Gaming, should they win this match, would be, or well, either of the teams to win this match would be the first Legends team, returning Legends team to qualify into the playoffs here. Been a crazy, crazy tournament so far. Now, SK, 4 versus 5. They will rely on the attack onto the B-bomb side, but 4 players are there for Gambit.
Here you go to grenades. Smoke going towards the balcony position. Fitch just can't frag anything in this game so far. Mo and Hobbit trying to stay alive, trying to fight for survival. Now it's down to Fallen to do as much damage as possible in this round, but he can't really do much. SK trying to play the numbers game towards B, but this time the gamble pays off for Gambit, who had almost all of their players there. 3rd round on the board. Fitch having an absolute nightmare of a game.
Yeah, it's not been very good for him. My goodness gracious me. Well, there's a chance for him to get onto the board at the very least now, as Gambit have earned themselves some cash and some guns. Fitch has an AK. That's nice on the CT side. You always like that. And they'll be up against the pistols of SK. But you can never really count SK out in any kind of a round. They always have a plan. The masterminds behind the team, of which there are many. Fallen chief amongst those. Always very well prepared, especially on a map like this. And it's cool to see them taking a tactical timeout, because despite the fact that they are 14-3, it's a massive advantage. You never want to get complacent. You want to sort of forget that scoreline completely. That shouldn't really play into your mindset at all. And I think, you know, timeouts in spots like this are really good to sort of get everybody on the same page and sort of nip any complacency in the bud.
Here we go. Fallen, Scout, no Kevlar. Everybody else, pistol, Kevlar. And a helmet, apart from cold. For Gambit. Helmets galore. Try to prioritize the rifles. 2 AKs being wielded by the CT side. It's a pretty good position to be in, as long as you get the frags. And get the frags, they haven't done as much as they might have liked to in this game so far. Perhaps this is a turning point. We've seen a lot of matches so far in this major where one side, i.e. the CT side or the T side, has been dominant. And the other half has been lacking for both teams. So perhaps Gambit can enact some revenge onto SK here.
Yeah, they are playing really passively at the moment to really force SK to make their way to them, and that's a smart way to do it. There's lots of things to be worried about, potentially. And you can really eliminate all those things if you just chill. And you already have an advantage with the guns and the utility. And they also have some info as well, because they've seen quite a few players towards A, so they've reinforced that setup on A. 3 there. Dozier, Mo, and Adrent. And Mo with another cheeky little headshot. Isn't that nice?
Nice.
Probably one of the most satisfying things in the game, getting scout headshots. Up there with Deagle headshots, I'm sure. Now, SK just pushing in, trying to do some damage. I don't think they have too much to work with, or too much in the way of hopes here. But Ferd does get a kill of his own with the scout. Had 3 scout kills so far.
Phelps, too many targets for him. Molotov's flying through, but is it too little too late for SK? Fur carrying the bomb. Fur, last man standing. Fur, last man to fall. 4 rounds on the board for Gambit. Only 1 player taken out, so that's fantastic for Gambit. On a side note, Baby Deer is a fawn. Thank you, Corinne, for
there we go.
letting me know. That's why I was saying foe, not doe, but fawn was where I was trying to go with that. But I was truly lost at. That's a lovely shot from Mo, and we will need a lot more from him in the rounds to come. We still look to Fitch, still on the 1 kill. Come on, boy. We know we've got it in you. SK, 4 Glocks, 1 P250, and a flashbang. Looks like it's going to be a B play.
Yeah, it's a really good choice. The single flashbang, indeed. Let's see how good this single flashbang can be. SK looking just to explode on the B side, get it over with. Look towards better times with weapons. There it is. And that will deal the players on the close positions, as well as Fitch as well. Gets himself 1 frag with the AK. More players to find, though, as Fitch will get himself the second. Actually, Hobby got the first one, stealing those kills. In the smoke, very cheeky from Phelps. Just taunting his opponents. But SK, they get nothing. I don't think they expected with just a flashbang to get all that much. But now it's time for the AKs. This is where things get dangerous from SK.
Right then, I'm quite interested to see what Gambit's approach will be. Do they still fear their opponent? Are they still shell-shocked from the first half? Will they allow SK to run game on them? Or will they get aggressive and try to take the advantages away? Of course, it comes with its own risks, and maybe against no other than SK. Mo going for some cheeky wallbangs. Those kind of wallbangs have a certain timing to them. But not on this occasion will he be successful. SK seem keen to take short B with 2 players moving through the tunnel. That's a Molotov we don't see anywhere near often enough, but I really wish we would see CT side throw a flashbang in there first. So if someone is standing in that position, they're blind and then put on fire. And if they're there alone, they won't know they're on fire.
Yeah, that'll be the end of them. Toast. And I think, you know, you made a good point that Gambit, it is quite possible that they would feel a little bit scared on their CT sides. And we know that SK's not a team you want to give space on their T side. You need to have an aggressive CT side on Overpass. Vega also showed us just how good that can be, how strong it is to play aggressive CT sides. But if you give SK lots of space, they're going to run set pieces, and eventually one of those set pieces is going to work, you're going to be broken, and they're going to win the game at this rate. So SK just holding position for now. They have control towards the bathrooms as well. Cold is sitting there, so Gambit don't have info that it will be a B play for sure just yet.
But there's not much presence being shown towards A from SK. And that's enough for Gambit to have 4 people in and around the B bomb site. And Fitch is surely in for a field day. 19 seconds. SK, oh, that's flashbang's absolutely perfect, but Fitch is just delivering the kills. So is Hobbit with the first one, actually. Keeps stealing the frags away from Fitch, unfortunately for Fitch. 3-on-3, though. 9 seconds for the bomb to get planted. Fallen is nowhere near a push here. SK seem hell-bent on the B bomb site in these rounds and not really doing much to push Gambit away from A or try and spread them across. So Gambit just have the numbers in B for these executes, and they're holding every time.
And it's really interesting from an SK too, because, you know, we're just waiting out their opponents there, essentially, in many respects, seeing if Gambit are going to make plays. And that's kind of a cool test to run, because SK do have a lot of time to run as many tests as they want. So it's going to be good information going forwards. And also they can start to set that precedent of like a very slow pace. And if they can pick a good round for a very fast pace, it could throw Gambit off at the right moment. And again, SK just need those 2 rounds. So it's going to be interesting to see how they develop this T side of theirs. They've taken the second tactical timeout to discuss. Phelps actually the man with the most frags at the moment, but here is a comparison between the 2 AWPers. And also Fallen being the IGL also. Both 26 years of age. No player that's been on our radar for quite some time. Initially with Hellraisers, and now I think a lot of us are happy to see the success he's found on Gambit as he's developed as an AWP player.
They are the reigning champions, if you will.
Yep, the defending major champions.
They are the reigning, defending champions. SK with a lighter buy and some pistols. Again, with a focus towards the B bomb site. It's like there's a magnet there, and SK are a paperclip. Hobbit, Dozier, Fitch waiting the welcoming party. Mo and Adren towards A. So faster play may mean SK face 3 players instead of 4. And here come the grenades.
This will be tough to hold. Hobbit goes down straight away, as does Dozier. And now Fitch, he's not had a great game, but now will be a time to turn up here. They desperately need him to. Do they realize, do SK have any idea that he's in this smoke or that he can be there? Mo, maybe he runs distraction here as Fitch now dives towards the monster position. And they still don't know where he is. He's an unknown agent behind enemy lines. And what operation can he perform here? Well, there's a second assassination from Fitch as he strikes and now creates all the space for his teammates now to absolutely destroy this round for SK. Another from Fitch, absolutely what he needed to do for his team. The round for Gambit. How often do you see that? How was he there for so long? It's as though he's like a spy in Team Fortress or something. What's going on?
That was pretty cool, but I worry about the lateness in the grenades that Gambit are throwing when a push comes in. The second last time when he was over towards barrels, he managed to get a smoke grenade out just in time. And to be honest, I felt like he should have died before the smoke bloomed. And you saw the same issue behind the bomb site there, throwing the smokes down, getting caught before they can fire their gun. So that could have gone much worse for Gambit, much, much worse.
And SK may be a team that recognizes that, but they would say, hey guys, we got into really, really favorable positions. We just got unlucky. We can run this again, and it's very likely we'll have a lot of success. And they are actually just slow pushing Monster here. Eventually they're going to charge in, looking for the entry frags. Fitch falls out of position. No shenanigans from you this round, Mr. Fitch, as Phelps will deal with him. And they'll keep pressing forwards. The smoke's covering the bomb site, covering their approach, covering them for the frags, for the plants. And there's no trading here from Gambit.
4 versus 2. Mo on the low ground, Adren on the high. Looking for something, and there it is. Mo by Graffiti. They've got the information now. Still smokes on the site. Starting to disappear. 3 flashes on SK, 1 being deployed at the moment. That's a great flash And CTs have flashes of their own, still alive for the time being, smoking off the short position. coldzera rotating towards the monster area. No, he's pushing short, in fact, as is Fer. They might even be booting over the smoke. On the sandbags is coldzera. Surely they won't expect this Mo on the high ground taken down. Adren 2 versus 1. coldzera jumps, spots him, and swats him. Match point for SK.
That was beautiful. I think just as you said, James, you said that, you know, Gambits, they need to be worried by the fact that the grenade timings were off. SK definitely realized this. They definitely picked up on that. They go for the B hit straight away. They say, you know what, we actually think you guys have a weakness there. Our first attack was good. You guys won't survive a second one. And that's exactly what happened. 15-7 now as SK Gaming are one round away from making it to the playoffs and securing another legend spot. And Gambit will have to fight harder. They won't be eliminated, but there's a lot of competition right now in this sort of group stages. They could run into the likes of mousesports, for example, who have been a very problematic team for many. There's all kinds of danger that lurks in the 2-2 area in this Swiss system.
(15-7). SK looking to be leg ends once again. The early Molotov to stop the CTs pushing the short B position, and it's a very strong area to have as a CT, which is why that Molotov is thrown at the beginning of rounds by the T side. Makes it very difficult for SK's persistence towards the B site to be successful. So that Molotov is almost always thrown when the Ts have the money for it. But now SK, finally successful on B, start to change things up and have a more traditional setup. One lurker towards the B bomb site, which is Taco, and the rest of them will spread out towards A. Phelps with an angle on connector. Fer keeping an eye on long, and Cold and Fallen will creep towards the toilets. I think Dren was just spotted in the lose, and he is backing off, and Mo is retreating as well, so they're forcing the CTs back.
That is very important. All the space in the world to play with. Overpass is the playground of SK as they look to set up their perhaps match-winning play. Now, it's a bit troublesome to be so blind as Gambit are at the moment, and it's a bit troublesome to allow SK to set up whatever they want. But perhaps Gambit can get it done on clean shots, clean setups, and considered plays. As the counter grenades start to rain in as well, to slow down the progress of SK. They have 2 players towards the B side of the map here that can run distraction. Maybe get entries towards B as the presence comes towards A. Good start from Mo, though.
They were selling the fake SK, playing the clock down, and Gambit were believers, but now Mo is allowed to do his work on the A side. Dozy to trade immediately. 5 seconds, and then nowhere near the bomb. It's falling apart for SK in this particular round. Then their money kind of sucks. Gambit surviving with 4 players, picking up the second sniper rifle. They're in a good position for the time being. The call of Harosh is out there. Well done, good stuff. Far away from the Bulchaya Pabieda, the big victory. But a round in the bag. On to the next one.
Really scary for Gambit at the moment. Honestly, I feel like, you know, the approach of being so passive is something that it can bite you in the backside. And SK, they've been really enjoying playing the really slow rounds, and then having just a really explosive one here or there mixed in. And B has been obviously a good solution for them in the past. Might start to see them going back towards that later on, but there's a push from Gambit around the fountain area. They see a lot of information. Oh, that's a nice one from Hobbit. Look at the boost there towards the sewers, eliminates the presence of SK. It's now gone from there.
Phelps looking for info around the connector area. Not going too crazy, however. I think he's just making sure nothing crazy is going on as SK will look to bring the crazy towards B. And they will need crazy with only 2 rifles and 2 CZ. Fallen has all the remaining grenades. So 1 smoke, maybe debating an overreaction from Gambit, but that's a great play from Dozier. The spray gets tons of information for the team. They know a boost might be coming, but Fitch is still vulnerable to it. How does he get caught by that?
Ooh, Taco, oh my god, he's trying all sorts of shenanigans here. Now it could actually just work out for SK with the frag there, evening up the numbers, well, ever so slightly. He's still down a man. What? A Dren, how does he lose that one? Absolutely ridiculous. The trade does come in. But again, SK, they're running out of time here. 30 seconds to plant this bomb, and coldzera only has a CZ. Taco has to do it all with that AK-47 of his, and they're trained on his position. As he looks to go for the jiggle peek here to try to get himself into a spot where he can do something here. Give some space to Cold. Taco has to win a fight. Cold's picked up an AK, taken down by Hobbit as Dozier rattles on to Taco as well. Another round for Gambit Esports as they somehow cling to dear life in this match against SK, who are sitting on 15 rounds still.
The crucial point at the very end there was the fact that Taco's shadow betrayed his position as he moved up the short area. Fitch getting caught by this was really unfortunate, but maybe they thought they would not re-aggress after Dozier's spray. But when it gets down to this situation, Mo was still on the A bomb site, but when Taco's shadow is spotted, he starts to rotate and things only get more difficult for Gambit. They held for SK. Gambit held their metal very nicely. Player on the water just holding the line there, and they take it over the line. And now Gambit are really on to catch up. They're 6 rounds away. Yes, SK are at match point, but this is an eco round for SK. Gambit are about to make double figures, and that has to spur them on to try and double their focus for the rounds to come.
Absolutely, it does get to that territory now, doesn't it? It's like, well, hang on a minute. Is this a thing? Is this a thing that's happening? Because the narrative of this game has been all about SK. But now it could be about SK starting to maybe squander their lead. But they have the overtime at the very least secured.
And this is a big opportunity for SK, bearing in mind they are essentially playing with a stand-in, history aside. Practice has been limited. They don't want to lose this and then have to try in another match to become legends. This is the best opportunity they will have, and they don't want to squander it. So the pressure is on the Brazilian team.
Okay, AKs are out again, and I wonder if we'll see one of those faster B rounds. It was pretty, every time they ran it, it was favorable for them, and looks like it might be the case here. They got into good positions. They won one of those 2 big fast B rounds with the AKs, and they're going for it again, James.
Yeah, the Molotov forcing Fish out of his position. He's blind, he's doing the best he can, but he's taken a lot of damage. But SK, Taco, Fur, taken down, smokes around the site, variants, Molotovs to stop the plant. That allows the CTs to get into even better positions. Things slowing down now. Phelps only good for the 1 kill, leaving Fallen and coldzera with much to do. Boost over the smoke once again, looking for Mo on the high ground, but Fitch has just jumped into position. Who will they find first? There's Fitch, got to get out of there now. They're rotating out. Fallen could have actually re-smoked the balcony, but he's choosing to just see what is going on the high ground. So many rounds, Gambit have just stacked everybody at the back of B, and there is no flank. coldzera being left outside the B bomb site. So will he go for a suicide faker? Dren with the jump spot. He's seen Fallen. Surely he's seen the bomb. Or maybe he hasn't. I don't know. Hard to tell. Doesn't seem like he saw Fallen. Fallen really lucky in that spot. Has he seen him now? Still no movement from the rest of the teams. The rest of the players, sorry, and he's caught out completely. Really unlucky for a Dren. And there's coldzera. The bomb, though, has it been spotted? Hobbit, the last man standing, he's going towards B. Hasn't seen it because Dren was looking the wrong way. Rotates away, and there it is. Fallen and Cold make it work. Massive rotation from Fallen. 16 to 10. SK are legends once again.
It took a pretty crazy clutch to get there, but indeed, I mean, that CT side was so devastatingly strong, I think, even though Gambit had quite a resurgence on their CT side. I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at this game and thinking, oh, right, okay, we need to definitely be cautious in the beta process of